So tell me, what are you looking forward to? What makes bang off party for you?
I'd have to say some good alcohol, some good drinks. Yeah, we hung out. Nice to see you. Good night. Thank you, Sean.
He was the most powerful man in hip-hop. He had 3 Grammy Awards, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the key to New York City, and a net worth that Forbes magazine once placed at nearly $1 billion. He had discovered Biggie Smalls, launched Mary J. Blige, shaped the sound of a generation, and turned himself into a brand so enormous that his very name, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, became synonymous with American ambition, black excellence, and the idea that if you wanted it badly enough, you could build anything from nothing. And for 30 years, it worked. The empire stood. The parties were legendary. The music was everywhere. The smile was perfect. But on September 16, 2024, Homeland Security agents arrested Sean John Combs in the lobby of a Manhattan hotel. And what came out over the next 12 months? In courtrooms, in testimony, in surveillance footage played again and again for a stunned jury, shattered the empire completely. Not just the reputation. Not just the legacy. The whole story. Everything people thought they knew. Because behind the velvet ropes and the all-white parties and the Ciroc and the hit records, Sean Combs had allegedly been running something else entirely. Something the indictment called the Combs Enterprise. Something the federal government called a criminal organization. This is the rise and fall of Diddy. Sean John Combs was born on November 4, 1969, in Harlem, New York City. His mother Janice was an aspiring model who raised her children Roman Catholic. His father, Melvin Combs, was a known associate of convicted drug dealer Frank Lucas, and was shot dead while sitting in his car on Central Park West when Sean was just 2 years old.
Federal prosecutors say Sean Combs was violent, abusive, and unrepentant. So while Combs was acquitted of more serious charges, this morning federal prosecutors say he still deserves at least 11 years in prison following his conviction on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. That is a far more severe punishment than Combs' attorneys recommend. They cast him as a reformed domestic abuser and are seeking time served, saying anything longer would amount to a perversion of justice. But prosecutors point to hotel security camera video of Combs attacking Cassie Ventura to argue Combs held all the power over people he transported while they ended up bloodied and bruised. They say the sentence should reflect Combs' decades of unchecked violence and the substantial psychological, emotional, and physical damage he has inflicted. Defense attorneys call the government's recommendation draconian, saying it amounts to verdict be damned, lock him up, and throw away the key. Robin's sentencing is set for Friday.
Sean would not discover the true circumstances of his father's death until he was 13 years old, stumbling across old newspaper clippings in a library. He never spoke publicly about what that discovery did to him. His mother moved the family to Mount Vernon, in Westchester County, when Sean was 12. He attended Mount St. Michael Academy, an all-boys Catholic school in the Bronx. He was small, so he played football and puffed out his chest to look bigger. His teammates started calling him Puffy. The nickname stuck. In 1988, he enrolled at Howard University in Washington, D.C., one of America's most prestigious historically black universities. He studied business. He was ambitious, magnetic, relentless. But after a year and a half, he dropped out. He had found something better. He had found music. He talked his way into an unpaid internship at Uptown Records in New York, one of the most influential R&B and hip-hop labels of the era. He was not a musician. He was a hustler in the best sense of the word, a connector, a visionary, someone who could hear a hit before it was finished and understand exactly how to package it for the world. Within months, he had become an A&R executive. He produced platinum records for Jodeci and Mary J. Blige. He was 21 years old and already untouchable. Then, in 1993, Uptown Records fired him. Too aggressive. Too confident. Too much. He didn't miss a beat. The same year, Sean Combs founded Bad Boy Records. He signed a deal with Arista Records. And he brought with him a Brooklyn rapper named Christopher Wallace, a large, lyrical, dangerous-sounding young man who went by the name Notorious B.I.G. What happened next was history. Biggie's 1994 debut album Ready to Die changed hip-hop forever. Bad Boy Records became the sound of the 90s. The label's roster exploded: Faith Evans, 112, Craig Mack, Maze, Lil Kim, Total.
Disturbing new video appears to support some of the accusations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
We want to warn you that this video you're about to see is extremely graphic. The surveillance footage that was captured inside of a Los Angeles hotel in 2016 allegedly shows Combs assaulting then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway. A now settled lawsuit filed by Ventura claimed that she was trying to leave the hotel after a drunken Combs punched her. The video appears to show Combs chasing her down the hall, throwing her to the ground, and then repeatedly kicking her. So far, there's been no comment from Combs or his attorney.
Hours a day, and I feel as a young black man, if anything I put my mind to, I could do.
By 1997, Sean Combs released his own debut album, No Way Out. The lead single, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, went to #1. Then the tribute single, I'll Be Missing You, written for Biggie, who had been shot dead in Los Angeles in March 1997, debuted at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. The first hip-hop song ever to debut at #1. It stayed there for 11 weeks. Sean Combs won a Grammy. He was 27 years old. He was unstoppable. Over the next 2 decades, the empire grew in every direction. Sean John Clothing. Ciroc Vodka, which he took from 50,000 cases a year to 2 million through sheer force of personality and branding. The MTV reality show Making the Band. A star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2008, the first male rapper ever to receive one. The Key to New York City in 2023, presented by Mayor Eric Adams. Forbes named him the highest-earning man in hip-hop in 2014 and again in 2017. He was not just famous. He was an institution. But there had always been dark edges. Stories. Whispers. In 1999, Combs and his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were at Club New York in Times Square when a shooting broke out. Combs was charged with 4 counts of illegal gun possession and 1 count of bribery, allegedly for trying to convince his driver to claim ownership of a weapon found in the car. He was acquitted of all charges in 2001. Lopez had been arrested with him that night. Her charges were dropped. Also in 1999, there was a different kind of shadow. At a City College AIDS charity event that Combs had co-hosted with rapper Heavy D in 1991, 8 years before the nightclub shooting, the venue had been so dangerously oversold that a stampede broke out. 9 people died. The legal fallout had followed him for years. People noticed these things. People talked. But the empire kept growing. And then, in November 2023, a lawsuit landed that would change everything. Her name was Cassandra Ventura.
Hey there, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are starting with that dramatic situation happening as we speak in both LA and Miami Beach.
Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami mansions raided by SWAT teams. His sons, Justin and King, in handcuffs in their own yard.
Combs has faced multiple lawsuits in recent months with allegations of sexual assault and sex trafficking, accusations he has denied.
For the first time since federal agents raided 2 of Sean Diddy Combs' homes, we're hearing from his attorney.
She performed under the name Cassie. She was one of Bad Boy's most promising artists, a singer with a smooth, floating voice who had released a debut album in 2006 that went platinum. She had also been Sean Combs' girlfriend. For 11 years. In her lawsuit, Cassie alleged that Combs had raped her, beaten her repeatedly, controlled every aspect of her life, and forced her to participate in what she called freak-offs. Drug-fueled sexual encounters with male escorts that Combs arranged, directed, filmed, and then used as blackmail material to ensure her continued compliance. She said she could not refuse. She said she was terrified of what he would release if she did. She said she had been living in a prison built out of love, money, fear, and shame. Combs denied everything. His team called the lawsuit a money grab. And then, within 24 hours of the lawsuit becoming public, He settled with Cassie Ventura for $20 million. No admission of wrongdoing. Case closed. Except it wasn't. Because in March 2024, Homeland Security agents simultaneously raided two of Sean Combs's properties, his mansion in Holmby Hills, Los Angeles, and his estate in Star Island, Miami. The search warrants were related to an ongoing federal investigation into sex trafficking. What agents found inside those homes included firearms.
My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
3 defaced AR-15s with a large-capacity drum magazine, and quantities of baby oil and lubricant so large that photos of them spread across the internet and became the subject of 1,000 dark memes. Combs fled to the Caribbean. He flew to Antigua. He issued a statement through his attorneys. He posted a tearful Instagram video apologizing for the hotel hallway footage that CNN had obtained and published. Footage that showed him, in a Los Angeles hotel in 2016, grabbing Cassie Ventura by the back of her neck, slamming her against a wall, dragging her across the floor, and kicking her as she tried to get away. In the video, he wore only a towel. She ran. He grabbed. She ran again. He had paid $100,000 to obtain what he believed was the only copy of that video, demanding everyone involved sign punishing non-disclosure agreements. When Combs approached the security guard, he reportedly admitted the footage could ruin him. CNN had a backup copy. On September 16, 2024, Sean Combs returned to the United States. He checked into a Manhattan hotel. That same day, he was indicted by a federal grand jury on 3 counts: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Homeland Security investigators arrested him in the hotel lobby.
All right. Thank you all for being patient. Am I speaking loud enough? You all can hear me okay? All right. Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping. But one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that. And that is no longer just me saying that. That is the verdict of our jury. So today is a great day. Today is a win. Today is a victory of all victories for Sean Combs and our legal team. And I want to say one thing. There are very few people around whom a legal team could coalesce and become one. And Sean Combs is that person, and we are all blessed to be part of it. And I am now done speaking to you, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Garagos.
All right, I first want to thank my client, Sean Combs, for trusting us, myself and everybody here, this incredible dream team that he put together. Without him, we would not have been able to do this. He is incredible, and I want to thank him. I want to thank the jury for putting such great care into this case. They came early every single day, and I want to thank them, as I said in my opening, standing between all of us and the drastic consequences of the criminal convictions of sex trafficking and RICO is a jury of our peers. And I thank them. I want to thank the judge, and I want to thank, despite the terrible conditions at the MDC, I want to thank the good people who worked there, who ensured that we had sufficient amount of time to prepare for trial. It is extremely difficult to prepare for a federal case in the conditions at the MDC, and they did everything they could to make that happen. I want to thank them. I also have been saying this since the beginning of this case. Sean Combs has not sexually assaulted anybody. I've been saying this for months. We've said it with each lawsuit that came out, and today that was proven true. The media got it wrong about Sean Combs every single day for nearly 2 years. I ask that for every time you guys see a civil lawsuit, criminal complaints or criminal indictments, you actually take a look and analyze these and see whether or not these are actually going to stand up in a court of law, because today they did not. He has not sexually assaulted anybody, certainly hasn't sex trafficked anybody, and the jury found that today. Thank you. I am now going to pass this over to Mr. Steele.
Good evening. Good evening. I want to thank the ladies and gentlemen to my right and my left. There is not a better group of honest and ethical, hardworking, and zealous lawyers, and I especially wish to thank Mark and Tenny for allowing me and everyone else to come together. On behalf of my family, myself, I wish to thank you all for being here and writing truthfully about a man wrongly charged with most of the crimes, and that we all must remember that allegations are nothing. And I'd like to thank Sean for letting me be here. Thank you all. God bless you.
What did your client want to say when Reese?
Thankfully, in our country, we have a right to a jury trial. And thankfully, Mr. Combs took that right. He actually battled for his freedom, for his innocence. He did it. And a lot of times, people are too afraid to do it. And he did it, and we're so happy that he did. We're proud of him. We are completely honored that he put his faith and his trust in us to fight for him. Today is a major win to show what the system can do. We appreciate and we're so thankful to the jury. Thank you to the court. Thank you, New York. It's been a pleasure being here and fighting in your district. Thank you so much. And listen, we appreciate the media. We do. There was a lot of reporting on the accusations. There was a lot of reporting on the indictment. Please report just as vigorously on the acquittal of these counts, please, because that's also the right thing to do. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Good afternoon. So, first of all, I want to thank this wonderful team behind me. I am so happy that they allowed me to join it. I would like to say that I've done a lot of trials, but this is probably the most special one to me. And most important, I want everyone to know the job is not done yet. We're not finished. The job is not done yet. And so I want to, again, thank Mark, Tenny, and the rest of these wonderful lawyers behind us. They did a fantastic job. And like those before me have said, our system, the jury system, is important. We need good people to serve on juries. We need good people to come and say a person is not guilty. Take that courage to do that. It's okay. We want you to serve on juries. This particular jury was a special jury. It was fantastic. It listened. It paid attention. It put the nonsense to the side. It put the distraction to the side and came to a lawfully good, just conclusion. Juries are important. Juries are important. But more important than that, I think, is people wanting to be on juries. So for all of you all listening, for all you out there in the public, please accept the call. Become a juror. and do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It is such a privilege to be a part of this legal team, this amazing legal team, and to represent Sean Combs. And this is a reminder to everyone, I hope, about the flaws in the criminal justice system, and for everyone to take a second look when the government charges people with crimes, and especially when the Southern District of New York does here. And so I hope everyone takes that seriously. And we take this as an enormous victory and win. This is a huge win. He was acquitted of sex trafficking, acquitted of RICO conspiracy, and he will be able to sleep well at night knowing that. Okay, thank you to everyone. I appreciate you. What do you think about the bail decision?
Jason.
Guys, can any of you share what Mr. Combs
Awesome. Get up there.
Well, I want to start just by thanking my family and the families of each of the lawyers here for giving us the space and the time to serve Sean and to fight for Sean. I want to thank the court for giving us a fair fight. And you see what happens when you have a good defense team come together in front of a court that gives the defense team a fair fight. And finally, I just want to thank Sean for giving me the honor and the privilege of serving him. Thank you.
I feel like there's not a lot more that I can say because of these wonderful people have really said all there is to say, but I do want to thank Sean for the privilege of this opportunity to help him clear his name after all, with the Southern District coming after him, guns blazing. It really is a testament to the fact that when you get a fair trial and a jury of your peers listens to the evidence, they will do the right thing. And I just want to say again how proud I am to be part of this team and to have helped Sean get a just verdict.
Are you going to appeal the Manic conviction? Guys, can anyone share what Mr. Combs wanted to say in court when he raised his hand during the bail hearing? Does anyone know?
No.
Mark, can you talk about the bail decision and the judge using defense's own words during trial about violence?
I'm not going to talk about the bail decision because it's still a pending, unresolved matter. And I don't think we're going to take any more questions. I want to thank you all. You guys have been so diligent and dedicated. I pass you guys in the rain. I walk by you in the sun, and you're all out here every day. And I just want to thank you. But I don't think we're going to take any questions.
Can you take us through the ups and downs of the day, though? Because Mr. Combs got acquittals on the major charges. Maybe thought he could go home tonight, and then was told he couldn't.
So a lot of these things are still in process. I mean, the one thing I'm going to leave you with this. We are not nearly done fighting. We are just getting started. To win this and to defeat the prosecutors from the Southern District of New York takes effort from beginning to end. Today was a major step in the right direction, but we fight on and we're going to win, and we're not going to stop until he walks out of prison a free man to his family. Thank you all for coming.
He was taken to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. The indictment alleged that between 2008 and the present, Combs had abused, threatened, and coerced women and others, and led a racketeering conspiracy that engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. His employees, security staff, personal assistants, household staff, high-ranking supervisors, had allegedly functioned as the infrastructure of the criminal operation. Arranging hotel rooms, stocking them with controlled substances, transporting victims across state lines, cleaning up afterward, and keeping witnesses silent. He applied for bail 3 times. He was denied 3 times. The judge cited concerns about witness tampering and flight risk. He remained in federal custody. In April 2025, prosecutors filed a superseding indictment with 2 new charges, expanding the timeline and the scope of the alleged crimes, bringing the total to 5 counts. The trial began on May 5, 2025, in the Federal District Court in Lower Manhattan. And on May 13, the star witness took the stand. Cassie Ventura was 38 years old. She was visibly pregnant. And for 4 days, she sat in that courtroom and described, in precise, devastating, unflinching detail, what 11 years with Sean Combs had actually looked like. She described how the relationship began when she was 19 years old and Combs signed her to a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Records.
I want to be clear about two things.
She said she had recorded hundreds of songs that were never released. That her time, her career, her body, all of it had been consumed by Combs's demands. The freak-offs became a job where there was no space to do anything else but to recover and try to feel normal again, she told the jury. She described the freak-offs, sometimes weekly, she said, dark hotel rooms, male escorts recruited and paid by Combs, sex performed while Combs watched and filmed. She said she recruited escorts herself because she was afraid of what would happen if she didn't. She told the court she couldn't reject Combs's demands because she feared he would release the recordings and ruin her. I feared for my career. I feared for my family. It's just embarrassing. It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone, she said. She described the beatings. Photos were shown to the jury. Black eyes, a fat lip, a gashed eyebrow that left a permanent scar, bruising across her body. When prosecutors asked how many times Combs had thrown her to the ground during their relationship, she answered, too many to count. She described the night she tried to leave a freak off early, the night of the hotel hallway video. She said she had her first big movie premiere coming up. She had tried to do damage control by agreeing to the encounter in advance, hoping that if she pleased him, her premiere would go smoothly. Instead, Combs hit her. She grabbed her bags, ran out of the hotel room, and fled down the hallway barefoot, her sneakers still in her bag. The jury watched the surveillance footage. Then watched it again. Then again. By the end of the trial, they had seen it at least 5 times. She also testified that after one beating in Las Vegas, a security guard who worked for Combs broke down in tears when he saw her bloody face. After another incident, Combs sent her to a hotel for several days while her injuries healed, and kept her there, monitored by his employees, against her will, even after she said she wanted to go home. She did not leave because she did not feel safe to do so. She said she had been suicidal.
I can't go for that, so I'm fighting back. He's a fighter, but I'm going to put in this fight. I got to do it for myself, my rights, and most importantly, my kids. Taking my puppies.
Hey, I run shit here, nigga. I run shit.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Little Rod ain't worth giving this kingdom to if you don't control his talent and that.
With a life sentence on the line, Sean Diddy Combs has hired a high-profile team of defense lawyers.
Half a dozen well-known and high-profile lawyers in his corner for this trial as the music mogul faces the potential of life in prison.
Really said all there is to say, but I do want to thank Sean for the privilege of this opportunity to help him clear his name after all. With the Southern District coming after him, guns blazing, it really is a testament to the fact that when you get a fair trial and a jury of your peers listens to the evidence, they will do the right thing. And I just...
Family, myself, I wish to thank you all for being here and writing truthfully about a man wrongly charged with most of the crimes. And that we all must remember that allegations are nothing. And I'd like to thank Sean for letting me be here. Thank you all, guys.
Describe your fascination with P. Diddy.
And I want to go to a party.
You do?
Yeah.
Want to party?
Yeah.
All night long?
Yeah.
To the break of dawn? Yeah, we can talk.
What do you think is going to go on at that party that you got to get into?
It's going to be crazy. Anything?
She said she had flashbacks during a music video shoot in 2023 and went into trauma therapy. When she finally broke down in tears on the stand while describing going to rehab, the jury and members of the public present in the courtroom broke down with her. Outside, when her testimony concluded, her attorney told reporters she had delivered powerful testimony. In the lobby of the courthouse, Combs' sons, mother, and family gathered in a prayer circle, holding hands. The defense's argument was consistent throughout, that Cassie Ventura was a willing participant. That the relationship was complicated, volatile, mutual. That Combs' admitted violence was fueled by jealousy and drug use. He had been described as a heavy opiate user during parts of their relationship, but that no crimes had occurred. His lawyers pointed to the $20 million settlement. They suggested her testimony was motivated by money. They noted she had sought $30 million from Combs himself before filing the lawsuit, for the rights to her own story. Cassie testified, "I wanted to be compensated for the time, the pain." Other witnesses took the stand. The rapper Kid Cudi testified about the period when he had a brief affair with Cassie, and described Combs' jealous, threatening response. Dawn Richard, a former Making the Band's singer who had her own abuse lawsuit against Combs, testified. Former escorts testified. Former Combs employees testified. And hotel security guard Eddie Garcia testified that when he approached Combs the morning after the 2016 hallway assault, Combs told him, "You take care of this and I'll take care of you." Garcia said Combs paid $100,000 for what Combs believed was the only copy of the footage, and made everyone sign punishing NDAs. The jury deliberated. On July 2, 2025, the verdict came in. The jury found Sean Combs not guilty of racketeering conspiracy.
The defense, meanwhile, argued that women were willing participants in fulfilling Combs' sexual desires, and that all the encounters we heard about in this trial were consensual. And there you see, after the verdict, Diddy's family celebrating on the streets in New York City, doing push-ups on the sidewalk while others danced. They said a few words exclusively to ABC News, and the attorney for Cassie Ventura also spoke out about this verdict.
Love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home. God bless. God bless the whole world.
You could actually hear when somebody died, because you would hear, they would, oh yeah, and then you wouldn't hear anymore.
Nightmare imaginable. Thousands of excited teenagers and other young people crushed into a suffocating heap at the bottom of a staircase at City College, leaving 9 dead and almost 30 others severely injured. Now in the swirl of media attention,
I'm famous for like the kid in their minds who threw the tragic City College, man. That's kind of hard for me sometimes to live with. In the first couple of days when it happened, there was nobody to really answer for what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So I think the media and everybody was trying to figure out why this happened. It was just a big media circus. You know what I'm saying? It was real scary for me. I didn't know like how to defend myself for something I'd never been put in that position, and I was just trying to do something.
Not guilty of sex trafficking, but guilty, on 2 counts, of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. The courtroom exhaled. Combs made prayer hands toward the jury. He mouthed, "Thank you." He turned to his family and appeared to say, "I'm coming home." He was not going home. Not yet. On October 3, 2025, Judge Arun Subramanian sentenced Sean Combs to 50 months in federal prison, just over 4 years, along with a $500,000 fine and 5 years of supervised release. Prosecutors had asked for over 11 years. His defense team had argued for no more than 14 months. The judge landed somewhere in between. Combs sat with his head in his hands as the sentence was read. His defense team played a nearly 12-minute video of him playing with his children, doing community work, being praised by friends. It did not change the outcome. He is currently serving that sentence at a federal facility. He is appealing both the conviction and the sentence. And the story has not stopped moving. In December 2025, Netflix released a 4-part documentary called Sean Combs, The Reckoning, executive produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Combs' longtime rival, who had been among the first public figures to raise alarms about him years before the arrest. The documentary included never-before-broadcast footage from Biggie's murder. It examined the full arc, the rise, the empire, the parties, the darkness underneath.
Cassie, y'all know that. I started hearing this record that was haunting me in the clubs, and it was, it was Cassie's record, Me and You, and I would hear it everywhere.
Me in the trap. It's going down. Niggas tried to assassinate me again as usual. Tried to cut my mic off, the whole shit. He tried to cut my mic off. They couldn't stop the kid. They know I'm a professional. I done hosted a lot of these things. Though. I'm doing a movie right now with Oliver Stone and Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz, Dennis Quaid, called on Any Given Sunday and on Warner Brothers.
Just let me get a word in edgeways now. Look, Parties, you are the king of parties, aren't you? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm the
you know the thing about it, don't you?
You know.
Now, how do Oscar parties relate to other parties?
Oscar parties are off the hook. I mean, I love a party, period. Whether it's an Oscar party, whether it's my man's house party from around the way. I just like people coming together having a good time.
Bruce Willis showed up at your place?
Right.
Yeah, now you had a party out in the Hamptons, I guess.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis heard it was going to be such a good party.
Yeah, he took a helicopter.
He took a helicopter to the party.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Are the parties that good?
Yeah, they crazy.
Crazy.
I'm gonna lie.
So, do you think Puffy was involved in the shooting?
Only they can answer that question. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not...
There ain't no East Coast, West Coast beef.
I swear. We ain't come here to talk about nothing behind us. We come to talk about what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
We here to make a difference, you know what I'm saying? So we want y'all to stay in school and keep y'all heads in y'all books.
No doubt. Knowledge is power, y'all.
Because, you know, we're the future, so it's on us to make a change.
Here is what this case ultimately revealed. Not just about Sean Combs, but about the way power works. For 30 years, people around him knew things. Some of them were paid to be quiet. Some of them signed NDAs. Some of them were afraid. Some of them simply could not believe that the man at the center of so much music and culture and celebration could also be the man in that hotel hallway video. But the video existed. And Cassie Ventura existed. And all the women who never came forward, whose stories we will never hear in full, they existed too. Sean Combs built his empire on sound. On the belief that he could control the story, control the narrative, control the version of himself that the world consumed. He changed his name 4 times. He built a kingdom. He survived every scandal. But he could not destroy every copy of every tape. And in the end, it was the footage. Grainy, silent, shot from a hotel corridor camera at 4 in the morning, that told the truest version of the story. Not the Grammy speeches. Not the Forbes lists. Not the parties, the philanthropy, the Ciroc, the key to the city. Just a woman in a hotel hallway, trying to get to the elevator. And a man in a towel, dragging her back.
Bo knows, but Diddy did it. Yeah. Cars, jewelry, and big homes, yeah, Diddy did it. Yeah. Shootouts, postal piece, yeah, Diddy did it. But my lawyer's so good that Diddy gotta quit it. I had J. Lopez, out in Sandro Pez.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you gotta do that. My behavior on that video is inexcusable, but I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
In the past couple of my years have been, I had to say a true definition of life with its ups and downs, and I just keep my faith in God, and I understand every day that I don't control the world. God wants this world, it's God's world. I'm just living it. I just try to do my best to just live and live in the way He wants me to live through the teaching of the Bible. And I just try my best to keep the faith no matter how bad things get, no matter how good things get. It's been like a definition of life with its ups and downs.
The verdict is in for the high-profile sex trafficking case against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. He was found guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, but was found not guilty on the other charges, including racketeering, which would have carried a max sentence of life in prison.
Not guilty on it. So the charges that he, essentially this was a prostitution charge, which is still a crime. It's still a felony, but not quite as serious. And his team actually proposed that he post $1 million bond, that he only travel within 4 states, he turn over his passport. I think his mother and his daughter's mother was also going to sign that bond. So it was a sort of an interesting proposal. And of course, the prosecution and other victims said, no, he's still terrorizing people. He's still not safe.
The reaction is that we're pleased that he's finally been held responsible for 2 federal crimes, something that he's never faced in his life. He still faces substantial jail time. Of course, we would have liked to have seen a conviction on the sex crimes in RICO, but we understand beyond a reasonable doubt is a high standard.